Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tina from tinahills.com and this video is about Venus trine Saturn. So what is Venus? Before we get into that, let me tell you that the birth of Venus is sort of because Kronos castrated his father Uranus. Okay, and because Kronos castrated his father Uranus, and from that froth was born Venus or Aphrodite. So you can see that Saturn inherently is very connected with Venus. Okay, they're just, he is in a sense responsible for her being. And if you really look at it, he is the lord of the seventh sphere, bringing this whole world into manifestation. And she is the desire principle who seduces us into incarnation to carry out all these karmic lessons meted out by Saturn in the earth school. So you see how connected Venus and Saturn truly are. Okay, and Venus of course has dignity in earth triplicity system, and so does Saturn, and there is a connection there as well. Now with the Venus trine, okay, so let us understand Venus. Venus is what we are attracted to, what our five senses enjoy. She rules Taurus, where she is the earthy Aphrodite, and she rules Virgo, where she is the celestial Aphrodite, or Aphrodite Urania. Okay, more electrical, more intellectual, more cerebral. In Taurus, she is more earthy, right? So Venus is essentially what we really desire. The clothes we wear, a sense of style, the food we like to eat, okay, the way we dress, the way we act, the way we do makeup, you know, the particular style we choose, and also what we attract. Venus is very much about the experiences we attract in this world. So when you have a Venus in fall, you attract difficult experiences coming from someone who has Venus in Virgo in fall. Okay, so Venus also defines our attitude towards love. She's very, very connected with the romantic version of love, although I think that is a very restrictive understanding of Venus. When you look at it, we play in astrology with only two feminine archetypes, the moon and Venus. The moon is more the mother and Venus is more the love object. So when you add the asteroids, we have more female archetypal representation. But with Venus, it's all these sweet things. Venus rules sweet things, sweet experiences, comforts, luxury. Okay, all of this is Venus. Now, Saturn is restriction. Saturn is confinement. Saturn is boundaries. Okay, so immediately you realize that these are, although there's this story, this myth underlying their origins and Venus's origin and Saturn's involvement, but you see they're sort of different. Venus wants comfort, whereas Saturn is frugal. Venus is youthful, whereas Saturn is mature. Venus can be mature, Saturn is always mature. Okay, so this is a very Venus rules copper, Saturn rules lead. Okay, all talismans of Venus are copper, and Saturn is all heavy metals like lead. Okay, now with this Venus and Saturn trine, firstly, trines are harmonious aspects that happen with the same element. For instance, Aries will trine Leo, Leo will trine Sag will trine Aries. So it's like, it goes like that. It's a triangle, a tricone. It's very harmonious. Okay, so it sort of integrates the mind, body, soul archetypes. Okay, so trines, very harmonious. You have sextiles that are harmonious in trines. Trines are more powerful than sextile. So with Venus and Saturn trining, things are going to be much easier for, say, Venus opposed Saturn. That means comfort is opposing a luxury or the craving for luxury. Frugality is opposing uh, ostentatiousness. Okay, so you put them at polarities, but this is trine, so it's a very harmonious flow when Venus meets Saturn and they're trining. So Saturn is very much the mentor of Venus at this stage. Okay, so with Venus trine Saturn, there could be an inherent attraction to older people, of course, depending on the houses they trigger. But Venus is the love principle. So, Saturn trining, you are attracted to more Saturnian types. Okay, even if it's a female and you're a male who's playing the role of Venus, you're attracted to a feminine Saturn. Okay, don't forget Saturn rules Capricorn, which is the nanny goat. So Saturn definitely understands the feminine vibration. He's the lord of the seventh planetary sphere, and he understands all polarities, right? So with this, there's definitely a need for serious commitment. Okay, when you have this in the natal chart, you want serious commitment, you want to have a long-term relationship. Anytime Saturn is connected to Venus, whether that happens or not is another thing, but you crave for that. Okay, uh, if you manage to work, but trines can sometimes also be too much of an energy, that it's like floodgates opening. So if you're tuning into that, then you will feed into all the negative vibrations of Saturn and Venus, and things will be difficult, like difficulty in love, difficulty with self-love, difficulty with patriarchy, difficulty in identifying with your husband or your father problems, husband violence and domestic violence and all of that. But if you're using the trine in a harmonious way, then your husband probably loves you a lot and provides for you. He may be cold and detached, but he sort of provides for you. The trine is, moving harmoniously then. So also with Venus and Saturn trine, you could be socially awkward till about 29. Again, Saturn cycles. Venus matures much faster than Saturn. Saturn takes 29 years to come around. So, Venus is doing it pretty much every like 2.5 years, like that. Okay, so Venus is a much younger and youthful energy, but with this, hopefully, unless Saturn is bringing malefic energies, there should be no divorce. And even if there is a divorce, money should come from your husband, because it's a trine. It's not as difficult, say, a conjunction where you have all these loss and breakups and divorces, and you're not getting anything. Things are just becoming very difficult. Conjunction of course makes pearl. I told you that. Okay, father could have been a very giving entity, may have been strict in his own way, but probably friendly, and in a sense protected you always, made you feel like his little princess, even if you're a guy. Okay, whoever was playing the archetype of Saturn in your life, okay, mentoring came easier. Because when you look for a mentor, there was a supportive trine energy pushing you forward. Okay, go, someone's going to support you. That is important. Again, with this, one would say you would be formal, dress formally, be more austere, but I don't think so. There would be gaps, because with trine, sometimes it's, you fluctuate between the two polarities. Like sometimes you're frugal, sometimes you want to give into Venusian cravings and go for things that are tactile, or engage your five senses. It's very, very possible, because like I said, trines can be quite unpredictable. Okay, like oppositions are difficult, but ultimately oppositions are asking you to come to a common ground. Okay, so that way trines are more free-flowing, but more difficult to get something concrete out of. But again, Venus and Saturn are pretty concrete planets. so should not be a problem. Venus trine Saturn, you could lose money also depending on the houses that are concerned. And with a difficult aspect, say to your Saturn or say to your Venus, if you're having difficult aspects, then divorces can happen, separations can happen, loss of money, loss of face can happen. Okay, and then of course we have all those Saturnine things like confinement, incarceration. Venus is also money. Venus is also lawyers. Saturn is the law. You know, it's legality. So even if you have this, you should get a good lawyer. Venus trine Saturn should give you a good lawyer if you're fighting for a law case. Okay. Uh, Not very romantic, probably. If you have this in your natal chart, you look at more the practical side of things. Okay, unless you're vacillating between Venus and Saturn, and sometimes you're this, sometimes you're that, depending on, you know, your, of course, there's so many things, your annual perfections, your progress planets, your transits. There's just so much to you know, really look at when you're looking at astrology. It's never ending. Okay, and you probably like the good things in life because Venus likes the good things, and Saturn gives you the impetus to work hard to get those things. And because, you know, the trine is bringing you all this easier than say an opposition would or a square, because squares create the most amount of friction, but this trine is free flowing, smooth, but it could be so smooth that you don't even get anything out of it, or it becomes like a floodgate and it opens and you don't realize what happened. Okay, that could be another thing. Hopefully your father or your husband will not be too miserly and will give to you, because, you know, again, trine. But if it's a difficult one, you know, there could be misers around you with this. Anytime Saturn touches, Saturn is the greater malefic. And also, if you have a day chart, Saturn is better for you. Mars is better in a night chart. And Jupiter is better for you, or the more beneficial for you in a day chart. And Venus is more beneficial in a night chart. So all this is going to end. Venus and Saturn, again, that day and night friction is there. Okay, so Venus is temperately hot. Again, Venus is very dry. So again, there's that polarity that is playing out. But interestingly, Saturn is exalted in Libra, which is Venus domain, and they both share dignity in the earth triplicity. So this sort of gives me a good foundation to stand on. And because Saturn created Venus, in a sense, he's protective towards her. In a sense, this planetary daemon acts as a protection towards Venus. If you know how to use your Saturn, okay, will act as a protective talisman for your Venus. All the planets are talismans. All the planets are living, breathing entities, beings, okay, and they interact with us, okay. You could get lazy with this sometimes. Saturn can bring about that slothful, that, you know, and Venus can be gorging in food. So once you've understood all the you know, nuances to these, and of course you have to look at the signs they are in, and the modalities, the elements, and then you piece together the whole story. So I hope that was interesting. Drop me a comment and let me know what you think. Subscribe, like please, so the video gets shared around. And thank you.